Hey guys, this is David Sicken Near Make Comics doing another 5 key comic market watch. And I think you're gonna like this one here. Got some random books here. But let me shout out to my boys here at 789 Comics. Use the code SNMC like on my YouTube channel and get your 10% discount on all your orders. And just go through their their books. They're a whole library of exclusives and variants, and I'm sure you're gonna not be disappointed, especially when it comes to this service. So once again, use the code SNMC to use your to get your 10% discount on your all your orders. All right. So the first book, this is a key issue. This is when Elektra becomes a Daredevil. Daredevil issue number 25. This is a second printing David Mack cover. Pretty, huh? I love his watercolor. So remember when this was a part of the big FOMO? Everybody was jumping on it. It was a great run, a great story by Chip Zdarsky. And let's see what the market is doing right now when it comes to that. So here we are. I'm gonna make that thing. So asking price about 24, when it comes 13 on an auction right here, 47, 29, 14. Here is one with the second primary Electro with the main cover, and along with 35. So that's pretty much the asking price, about what, 15 to maybe 15 to $30, depending on the condition of the book. Here's 198 for $95, of which I have in my collection, and 59. There's a $53 with $34 shipping though. You got two, a trade and a wow. I didn't know there was a Virgin. This is exclusive. I don't know if this is exclusive, but this is a second. I think this is a David Mack exclusive. I'm not too sure. I'm sorry. Don't have too much information. All I know that this is a second print cover of variant cover from David Mack. So I didn't know there was a Virgin cover of that as well too. So let's see what has been sold. Oh, geez, right here, April 20th, $1.33, and shipping of $28.65 estimated if you live in the U.S. There's a 9.8 that sold for $55. Here's one back in April 18, sold for $25. Um, there's another bid that went for 133, but you paid close to $30 in shipping. So in a way, an average on a raw and a high grade was probably $30, and the 9.8 is 55 with $15 shipping. So here's another one, $5.31. You pay about $17 in shipping. So there's a lot of that was sold for $1.33. That's kind of bit of a much, but here's one back in March. So for $32.48 on a 9.8 on an auction, another UK. Here's another one back in March 6, $24. So you can say about average about raw about 20 to 30, and for the 98 run for about 50. Yeah, about $50, I can say. So I don't know. What do you think? Is Elektra being a Daredevil still on the run? I have dropped that series after a while, but I, I remember when she had a solo series. Um, it was a good story, but I don't know how that is. I can't really say. But for me, this is definitely something that I probably would hold and wait to see if there's anything that is happening with Elektra, especially with the Daredevil Born Again on Netflix. Not for Netflix, but on Disney Plus. Anything can happen. So wait and see. All right, the next comic book here that I want to show you is, remember when Dave Steven was blowing up and this 9.6 was selling for about 500 something dollars on the 9.6. But let's see what the Planet Comic issue number 1, cover done by Dave Steven, is done. And this is the back cover, which still has a Dave Steven. So It's a double whammy right here. Let's see what that comic does in a secondary market. And here it is. Let's check it out. All right. There's one with 4 hours left. Pretty, seems like in a very high grade for $123. There's one that asking for 200, 250, 94 asking 300, 200. So it's still up there for 325. There's an homage. 96, $414. So 94300. Wow. Here's the poster asking $650, which was signed by Dave Stevens. But here's another one that is about 9 point asking for 295, 380. Here's an All American Planet 89 Steven Italian version asking for 990. So 9.2 asking for 350, 9.811 about close to $1,200. So you can say it about average about, I don't know, asking price is about 250, 200 to 250 on a raw high grade, and from 9.2 to 9.6 asking about $300 to $400. All right, let's see what has been sold though. All right, on a 9.8 on the PXG. I'm sorry, this is CBCS, I think. Let's click on that just to see. Um, Sorry, guys. It's a PXG, guys. PXG on a 9.8 sold for $620 on an auction. Here's a 9.8 and a 9 on a CDC, $830. 9.6 sold for $360. So it kind of went down in price, but still asking for very premium price for those high mid grade. Here's one that is signed, JC certified with the CGC, sold for 1,750. 98 almost sold for 1,000. Here's a rare one, 800, $183. If you just can't see it, here you go. Here's another raw one that auctioned for $239 in a near mint copy. Just looking at it, it seems like it needs some pressing and cleaning, but still $239. Here's one for $250. 133. Whoa, Dave Stevens signed. That's why it's $564. Here's one for 95. Seems like in a very mid grade there. A 9.8. Once again, 368 and a PGX 9.8. 9.424 back in April, 320. So it is asking a lot of. So it is within, I said, about 200 to $300 on a high on a raw, and when it comes to 9.6 about 350, 9.8 about 850 to $1,000. So still it's a book that still is asking, is pretty kind of strong still. So it's a $360. Definitely it's time for me to let this one go, and hopefully I'll get about 350, 340 if I sell this right now. So with that, next one here is another key. This is when Laura Kenny X23 becomes the Wolverine. So this is all new Wolverine, 1 out of 25. David Lopez variant. There's a lot of 1 out of 25 when this title has been released, but let's see what it does on a secondary market on a all new Wolverine. Boom, there we go. There's one that asking $54. There's a 9.8 asking 99. Here's one that asking $415. I'm sure it's not gonna get that. 7.5 for $39. Here's one raw asking 180. Here's one there for $75. 9.6 for 95. 9.8 169. That list sounds a little bit more reasonable. What else we got here? We got 90 for 150 or best offer, $16 for delivery charge for shipping fee, and here's one for 72 on a near mint. As you go down, here's one at 96 asking 100, $75, $59, and we got more to go. But As you can see that probably on a raw, probably about 50 to 75, 9.8, probably about from 100 to 150 in a way. This is just asking price, but let's see if I'm right when it comes to sold. Here's that. Wow, here's the Art Adam, David Lopez, and a regular cover, uh, all set of three, for $84, guys. 84. Let's go down. Here's 198. Sold back in April 11, $120 with free shipping. That's a pretty good bargain. Um, what else is there? What else is there? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So there is many books out there, but right now seems like Laura Kenny has kind of dipped down in a way. But someone like this right here, the David Lopez and the All New Wolverine issue number 2, 125, is still asking about 450. I remember that was about $1,100 to $1,200. Let's see how much it has gone down. But still, when it comes to rarity or low print, still selling for a premium price, even though it's gone down close to about, Jesus, almost 75 to maybe 60%. But this one here, 119, is not a bad free delivery. So 120 dollars. I'll probably look for 150 and asking for $20 shipping. But definitely something that I would definitely put on hold. And here in the back, you can kind of see that um, has the same type of cover here with this and this. So you get double whammies and this one too. So definitely it's a hold for me. And if you don't have it, if you believe in Laura Kenny, maybe something you want to pick it up. And when it's average about what, 30 $50 on a raw, so I'm asking 75, but on a 9E for $120, it's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all. All right, two more comics here. This one here, remember when Sonic the Hedgehog? There's a lot of nostalgia when it comes to this, huh? Video games and movies, and things and all. So, but this is the Sonic the Hedgehog promotional supplement issue number 1. This was part of something that you could get from inside the comic books. Let's see what does that do on the secondary market. All right, Sonic the Hedgehog. Boom, there we go. One asking $45, 9.8 asking for 99 on an auction. Here's another one. There's 4 hours left, $99 in a very fine copy in a raw. 9.8 asking $250. Here's another one, $99 on an auction. Asking $1,200. Ooh, that's kind of a far fetch, but hey, you ask what you want. 9654. And this is the one that you really want to get, is Sonic the Hedgehog issue 1, the Saga Genesis promo limited edition. This, if you can get in 9.8, you probably could ask for this price here, for $1,200. But here's another 9.8 asking 109 or best offer. Here's one that is $40. Here's a 9.4 asking 120. 9.6240. So you can kind of see the 9.8 asking probably about, I don't know, you decide, because it's pretty much from $1,200 to $250 to $100 on an auction. So let's see what happens when I click on this sold here. Boom, there we go. Last one on an auction sold for $70 with $15 shipping. Here's that one on a high grade for $35, 9.8. Another one that sold for $100 back in April 13, April 10, 72 on a 9.6, 9.8 right here. Someone's got a deal on this one, $45 back in April 5th. Another one, 9.8. It seems like he has a lot of 9.8, the seller here. 1, 2, 3. So far, he sold 2 for $99, 2 for $100, and 1 for $45. I don't know if it's just bought or repeat. What? Let me just click on that. Original listing. Yeah, ended with one bid. So yeah, so let's go down more. $56. Here's $114 best offer that was taken. $99, 9.99 on a very fine $99. So it's about average about $100 on a raw. Probably about you can probably say about 10 to 15 on a raw copy, but you got to be careful if it's a high grade or not. But definitely on a 9.8 is about averaging about $100 with $16 to $20 shipping. So I don't know. For me, I'm not a big. I got this for what $35 way before, and as you can see, it's an old CGC slab. But I don't know, for $100, maybe something I might put up for 120 and asking for $20 and put a best offer, hoping that somebody would offer me 90 to 100. I don't know. So it's definitely, it was a probably would be a hold and hold on to see if there's another Sonic the movie is coming out. But it's selling average about $100 for the 9.8, 10 to $15 on a raw copy. So there it is. All right, the last book here is by J. Scott Campbell. I just sold the customer appreciation, but this is the retail incentive. I believe this is one of the 20. This is Bubble Gun, issue number 2, retail incentive, cover done by J. Scott Campbell. Let's see what this book does. And boom, boom, boom. Let's screen share Bubble Gun right there. Share. Boom. All right. This is the one. This one here, customer appreciation one was signed, which I had to let go. But I got this one here. They're asking $44. Here's one asking 55, 114, $60, and that's pretty much it when it comes to this. So it's not an easy book to find. Definitely not an easy book to find when it comes to this one here. Average about 8.4. So there's some few damages or defects. Let's see what it sold for. Oh man, talk about nothing. Nothing. The last book is almost impossible to sell. So none has been sold, but asking average about 45 to $50. 150 far fetched, but here's one to 60. So about 45 to $60 is asking price. So this is a book in a 9.8. I don't know, probably 150, 120, 130. Uh, if it was me, I'd probably put it for $230, asking for a $20 delivery or for shipping fee. But this is something that's a keeper for me. Is I love the way that he has drew this cover here. Um, it's a great one. The customer appreciation has more color to it, but definitely not an easy book to find. Average about 40 to $60 asking. None has been sold, so really can't comment. But if I was a seller, if I'm willing to sell that, I'll put it for about 230, asking for $20 shipping or best offer. Oh, that is that. All right. And before I have to say goodbye to you guys, you know the deal. Shout out to my boys at 789 Comics. Use the code SNMC to get your 10% discount on all your order. And it's not a one time. You can keep using it many times as possible. Is unlimited when it comes to usage, but you get 10% discount on all your order. And definitely, I can tell you that their customer service is way beyond what the local online, um, shop is taking doing with their customers. Trust me, I had many handful. A lot of them did not care about my business, but 79 Comic does. They will make sure that you are satisfied with that. So anyway, SNMC for your 10% discount on all your order. All right. Now with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video as a segment and along with the content I'm creating. Let me know what you think in the comments below and check out the video that is suggesting right around here. All right. Now with that said, All right. Till next time, guys. Shoot.